Audio be going on right now. Hey everybody, Adam's here to do his run with the Game Maker emulator. I This is nothing I don't know much about, but Adam knows everything and he's very smart and he will explain everything. So don't worry. Adam, I leave the rest to you, my friend.
Well, thank you. Hello, I'm Adam. I expect most of you already know me, but if you don't, hi, nice to meet you. I've got a show for you today, which I really hope is entertaining. With that said, a lot of the free time I could have been using to prepare for this showcase was instead spent preparing for the job interview I had earlier about 12 hours ago. So my time this week has been kind of divided, but nonetheless, I hope the show I've got for you guys is entertaining. I hope it gets more people interested in TASing, in watching and creating tool-assisted content, and above all, I hope you have fun. So, this is Gm8Emulator. What does it do? Well, if you've ever used a console emulator like Dolphin for GameCube games, PCSX for PlayStation, you'll be familiar with the idea. This is an emulator which plays GameMaker 8 games on your PC. This includes GameMaker 8.1, by the way. For example, you can see that if I drag this copy of Chaos Time onto the emulator, it runs it. So this is I Want to Be the Chaos Time running in GameMaker 8 emulator. You can see it looks, feels, sounds exactly like Chaos Time does, except for the missing icon up here. We'll fix that probably. Now you're probably wondering, Adam, that's neat and everything, but why do we need a GameMaker emulator? If I want to run a Fangame, I can just run it normally, right? Well, there are a number of reasons. This is a modern and open source port of the official engine. It runs much faster than running the game normally. It could potentially be ported to other operating systems, so we could have Fangames running on Linux, Mac, even Android if someone puts the time in. But the main reason is, of course, tool-assisted speedrunning. Tool-assisted speedruns, or TAS, are a type of speedrun in which we slow the game down to frame-by-frame inputs and use save states to create a perfect run of a game. Now, GameMaker 8 Emulator not only enables us to do this for Fangames, but even provides the tools for us to do it almost effortlessly. So let me show you what I mean. Oh, that's strange. I hope that's fine. Yes, it's fine. Good. I've opened up the game I Want to Be the Destination in recording mode. The first frame is completely white. Actually, it wasn't. It was transparent. I don't know why that happened, but my notes say that it's white, so I read it out, but it was wrong. Sorry. Over here, we have the interface, which is fairly straightforward, but I'll take you through it. We have the frame count, which is 1, because I had to advance a frame to make it not transparent. I don't know why. So if I advance another frame by clicking this go button, then you can see we step forward to frame 2. Pretty obvious. So let's see. You can also advance, by the way, by pressing the spacebar. So that's nice and easy. To get past the title screen, of course, I need to press Shift. So let's do that. I'll press Shift. It's gone half green to indicate that it will be pressed on the next frame. I'll press the spacebar to advance a frame. And you can see we've pressed Shift. We've gone past the title screen. We're on the File Select menu. Shift is now green to indicate that it's held down because I pressed it. I'll release Shift. I'll advance another frame. Of course, I couldn't press Shift to get past this menu because it was already held, so I needed to release it and then press it again, right? Well, there is a better way of doing this, because we can press and release a key on the same frame, and GameMaker 8 Emulator allows us to do this too. Just right-click, select Press and Release. You can see it's gone stripey to indicate this, and advance another frame, and you can see we've gone past the menu and also released Shift. So we could have actually saved a frame earlier by pressing and releasing Shift on the same.
Adam, they're saying that they cannot see your interface.
Why can they not see my interface? Oh, that's strange.
I don't know what your interface looks like, so I don't know what I'm not seeing.
Ah. I think I've captured that wrong. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, folks. Here's my interface. And thank you for letting me know, because okay. So, just to run you through what I was saying, we have the frame count up here. We're currently at frame 8. The go button, now we're at frame 9. I press shift, it's gone half green to indicate that it's going to be pressed. I advance a frame. The kid jumps because I press shift. I release shift. You can see the kid probably did a 2 frame there. Okay, simple enough. I'm just going to navigate into the medium portal to start the game. You can see I can very easily advance a lot of frames by holding the spacebar. Okay. Now this jump is frame perfect, so I want to make sure that I get it right. So let me just drop down here, and I am going to make a save state right here by right-clicking the save button and clicking save, which I can also do by pressing Q. So let's try jumping from here. I'll hit shift and advance a bunch of frames and see what happens. No, I didn't quite make that. No problem. I'll load a save state, advance a frame, hit shift again, try jumping from here. Nope. Load, advance 2 frames, jump from here. Okay, we made it. Good stuff. Very simple. I can also make a backup save by clicking one of these numbered buttons, by the way. If I click here and advance, and you can see that I can just right click this and load right where I was again. Let me just scroll down my notes here. Okay. So I'm going to try and get over to the right here because there's something there that I think is of interest. I'm not going to do this speedrun optimally. You don't want to watch me optimize this. It'd take like 20 minutes. But there are a couple of features I'd like to point out in the meantime. The main thing that I'd like to show you is that we do have a live instance viewer. So if I right click the player object and select it, you can see that we have a bunch of info over here about the player. We can see I've got a 0.49 V line. It live updates, so if I move, it updates. The player's died, so it says deleted. If I load a save state, it comes right back. Really simple. I think I'll just land here. And the other thing, by the way, is that you do have the option to change. You can actually re-roll your RNG seed that you're going to get on the next frame. So if I were to click this, it goes red to indicate that it's been changed and now it's been taken into use. So that is kind of a niche thing to do. Later on during one of the demo TASs, I have a prime example of a thing you would need to use this for. So, with this secret item, the yellow fruit, you may be aware that you need to left click on it to collect it. So this is not actually something you can do with Hourglass, so this is often a stopping point for TASs. So how do we do this while recording a TAS with Gm8 Emulator? You may have spotted that we have mouse coordinates over here. I can change my in-game mouse coordinates by clicking this icon and moving my mouse anywhere in the screen and giving a left click. So I'm going to move it on top of the yellow fruit. Click this. There we go. So I've updated my mouse position. So how do I left click then? Well, I have these 3 buttons. I haven't actually added labels to these yet, but I think they're fairly obvious what they are. Mouse, left, middle, and right. Mouse buttons work exactly the same as keyboard keys, so I'm just going to left click this. It's gone half green to indicate that it's going to be pressed. I advance a frame, and you can see that we've left clicked, we've collected the secret. Really simple. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to save. I'm going to create a save, and I'm going to replay this just to show you how easy it is to replay what you've done. So you can see it's replaying all the inputs I just recorded in front of you, minus the mistakes. So we go on to the next screen, we've collected the secret item, and it stops there. Really simple. Very straightforward stuff. So, I've shown you how it works, but of course, this showcase wouldn't be complete without me showing you a couple of examples of what we can do with Gm8 Emulator when it's used to its full potential. If we could switch to 4:3 resolution, that'd be fantastic. Cracker?
Sorry, I was talking to Wolsk. You're
fine.
switching now?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to do the 3x4 section then?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go ahead and change it now then.
Yep, no problem. I'll give you a minute.
Okay.
So, I have not one, but two tool-assisted speedruns, which I'm going to play for you on stream here and now, for the first time ever. Well, actually, just to contradict myself, the first thing I'll show isn't actually a speedrun, it's an avoidance. You can't really speedrun an avoidance, but this is a great example of something else besides speedrunning, which this tool can be used for, which I'm a huge fan of. This looks very cool to me. And I've always wanted to task this particular boss. I had a ton of fun making this. I hope you guys enjoy watching. Once we are switched over.
Okay, I've switched over the layout so you can redo your stream in a 3.3.4 3 : whatever, you know what I mean. Yeah. I can't talk today.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, and by the way, a fair warning, anyone who's offended by the existence of Camellia 3 should look away for the next 3.5 minutes. Is the capture broken?
No. There, got it.
Okay.
By the way, Adam, I'm not super versed in Cake. What exactly is this? Where is it?
This is the secret boss in stage 5. It is Koala area.
Oh, this is Koala area. Okay.
Yeah. Well, from chat reactions, I think you guys enjoyed that. So, yes, that was very fun to make, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So, I said I have two things to show you, and I do. The other is longer, but perhaps even more interesting in parts. It is a full game speedrun of any percent I want to celebrate 100. So, I'll just start that up. In fact, if you want to use the timer for this, I guess that would make sense.
Oh, do you want me to time it? Sure, I can just
if you want to. Might
I'll
as well.
pause it. Might as well. That'll be fun. Let's see. Let me pause. Oh my god. I hate the fact that I never use life split. Okay. So I don't want to accidentally reset it again. So pause. It looks like numpad 2. Okay. There. Okay. Let me know when you're ready, Adam.
Okay, sure. So I'll give you a countdown.
Okay.
Say 3, 2, 1. No, never mind. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. 26 something by Gludrak. So I suppose I'll give a little bit of commentary over this one since it's not so intense as the koala area speedrun. So I guess the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to the other devs who helped me make this. This was not a solo project. I had a huge amount of help from Not Very, who you can see in the chat, Very, and the other two devs are Skyflugel and Renex. I've just had a huge amount of help from those guys. This would not have been ready today without everyone's help, so, you know, huge thanks to those guys. Very talented team of developers we have. And yeah, the first few floors of this game are, you know, fairly straightforward. Although I could point out what I did just there. I actually found a bug in the game while I was making this TAS. It turns out that though all the bosses freeze you when you enter the room, you actually have a frame before you get frozen, so you can shoot. So I actually shot the boss during the intro cutscene there, and that's going to come up on a few other bosses as well. So apparently no one knew about that. Water was annoying to optimize, but I think I got it right. For floor 27, it turns out that doing the corners is about 5 frames faster than going over. I tried both, and yeah, 5 frames saved there. You're welcome. Another instance of that shooting early thing. So the early bosses are fairly simple, so you know, you just shoot when their iframes run out and then go to the exit. Not much to talk about there, really. There are some fairly more complex bosses which we'll get onto later on. I did a little skip here over the dummy, although I'm not sure if I could have got a better cycle if I had saved and reset. I actually don't remember trying. The cycles in this stage generally aren't very good. Yeah, this game, I mean, this is considered a beginner fan game, but it does get fairly difficult later on. I mean, definitely compared to this anyway. By the way, I tried really, really hard to get that platform cycle skip. I couldn't get it. I was a few frames off, but yeah, I couldn't get it. Can I TAS Wannamaker? No, this actually does not work on Studio Fangames. This works on GameMaker 8 and 8.1. A similar project for Studio would be possible, but it would be a much larger effort. Watch this cycle. Beautiful, right? Okay. Now we come on to the Easy Miku boss. Oh, there's a room transition here that's meant to happen and doesn't. I don't know why that is. We should probably look into that. I don't know. It's meant to slide across and it doesn't. It just teleports. I don't know. That's fun. Sour please indeed.
By the way, Adam, I noticed when you were moving through the scrolling section, there looked like there was like a bar that appears to the left side of the kid. Is there something that causes that?
Oh, yes, that is a visual bug in the emulator. It is only graphical, but yeah, I haven't figured that one out yet. I will before release, don't worry. Specifically, if you're wondering, it's caused by the kid having a 0.5 subpixel. These vines were tricky to optimize. I'm not sure if I got the best path here. And I couldn't find a better one. Not sure about this either. These apples are really hard to move through. A little mini F there. (47F) is of course just very long. This was fun to TAS, just had to go around the whole screen twice. There were a lot of different paths I could have taken here, I just picked a random one and it worked. I don't know if it was the fastest one. So, the dog boss. You have no idea how annoying that was. That 12 seconds of gameplay, that took me a whole day. You don't want to know. Yeah, the dog's impossible. I mean, I got optimal damage, it just... gives me nightmares. Couldn't get this cycle, unfortunately. Little skip there. I think that one was known about, but people don't do it in runs because it's frame perfect. Okay, so now we have the infamous Man Who Shoots More Men boss. This was an interesting one. Basically, I had the choice between stay in the left and get cornered, or go to the other side of the screen and be near the warp when it spawns. And weird as it sounds, I actually couldn't find a way of crossing over the screen that didn't lose an egregious amount of time, so getting cornered was actually the fastest way. Even though it took me several seconds to go to the warp, I couldn't get any faster than that, so if anyone wants to try and do faster than that, be my guest. This screen has horrible cycles, by the way. But we are getting into the more interesting meat of the TAS now. Screens with actual moving stuff on them. And actual interesting jumps where you don't just hold right. You play like a TAS. You don't say. There's a little very tight V-string jump on this screen right here. Moving left on that final jump, I had to try that about 5 times to get the right V-string, I think, and a little plane skip here. Now this was one of the worst cycles in the game. I couldn't find a way to beat that one. Had to wait over a second, which for a TAS is unacceptable. But what can you do? Oh, there's a worse cycle though, and you know which one it is, Glue. So, the Chono boss. Remember when I said earlier that I would go over a prime example of a time when you might want to reroll your RNG seed? Well, Chono, during her 3rd and 4th phases, can teleport to a random point on the screen, and if that's during a damage window and she's not above the spike, you lose several seconds. So, I did this, losing over 5 seconds to this boss because of bad RNG, and then I thought, well, you know what? People are probably just going to reroll RNG anyway, so I might as well add that feature. So this is a prime case when you would want to change your RNG seed and just change what's about to happen. So if she teleports to a point that is not above the spike when I need to hit her, like right here, I just reroll it and make it so that she did, and just make it look like I got good RNG. I was in 2 minds about doing this, but you know, I think it does make the run technically invalid because you got invalid RNG, but I think that TASs are about entertainment value, not about technical validity, so, you know, I don't think it matters really. Would the input files be uploadable to TAS videos? I mean, yeah, there's no reason why not. This is just a .gm TAS file, which is a format I've basically made myself, which is just a bunch of stored inputs that you play into the game, so yeah, there's no reason why not. So now, the Nyan Cat boss, it's 70 seconds long, it's 1 attack, and I was thinking about the most interesting way I could do this boss, and then I realized, well, I already have the RNG manipulator in place now, so why do I need to move? Okay, now we get into the late part of the run. There are quite a few annoying cycles in this stage, but I think I dealt with them okay, except for... I forget what floor it is, but I'll point it out. I mean, you'll know it. Interesting, I actually had to take in a line here in order to do this little skip. So I tried that. It wasn't actually possible with the line you start with, and the one you get in most places.
By the way, how long did it take you to find the standstill RNG?
I actually just re-rolled each time that she threw out a bullet, so it wasn't standstill RNG right from the start. I just re-rolled the RNG each like wave, if that makes sense. I suppose I could have found standstill RNG if I want. We've done that before with I Want to Be the Lucky, actually. We found standstill RNG for Lucky 1 and 2. That took us several days. Crunching out all the seeds. There are 4.3 billion possible RNG seeds, if you're wondering. Oh, if you're wondering why I missed the boss, by the way, you actually start halfway up the room, so you can't hit her on the first frame like you can with the others. Otherwise, this is a fairly straightforward boss. I think she has 100 iframes, so you just shoot every 2 seconds. It's nowhere near as awkward to TAS as the dog or the Yaranaika. Not really much to it. Just move back and forth. Spam shoot, because apparently I did that at this point in the TAS. Kanata, there are actually quite a lot. I mean, we started at seed 0 and just counted upwards until we found one, and I think the one we found was in the sort of 3 or 4 million range. So that implies that there are probably thousands. By the way, double corner skip. So the 92 floor boss, very simple boss. I think it has 100 iframes, I want to say? I can't remember, but honestly, this is a really simple boss. I'm not sure why this is so late in the game. It only has 3 attacks. So, yeah. The only really difficult part of this boss was making sure that I could get to the exit frame perfectly, which wasn't as easy as it sounds. It's mainly because there was one of these snowflake attacks that spawned. I think it was not this one, the one after. Yeah. So this one, you can see I put it up as high as I could, and that's because it spawns in quite an annoying place to navigate around when I'm trying to drop down to the exit like that. So we're on to the final stage of the game. What is this game? This is I Want to Celebrate 100. Don't need to take the trigger here, by the way, just do this. I look forward to seeing that implemented in any percent strats. Because it's little plane skip here. So we're heading on towards the final boss. Now, I don't know if you know the final boss of this game, but Imagine how annoying it is to task something like the dog boss or the Aranaka boss, because you have to have a bullet in the air, accounting for travel time, and make sure that it's going to hit the boss exactly on the frame that its iframes run out, right? And you have to do that constantly, like 100 times. Imagine doing that for 2 bosses at once. I never want to do this again. Okay, so we're just heading on to the final boss now. Is there a missing sound effect there? I didn't notice. Oh well. We'll have to look into that. Anyway, yeah, this boss has 20 iframes, so you just shoot. Ideally, you want to stay as close to it as possible, so it's easier to coordinate the travel time of your bullet hitting the boss on the exact frame that you want to hit. Other than that, yeah, just a little bit of swag. I did try to get behind the boss, but I couldn't find any way of doing it that didn't lose time, so unfortunately, no behind the boss swag for us. Apparently, I didn't notice this until yesterday, but apparently I missed a shot there, so rip 20 frames. But that is it. Final time is 21 minutes and 10 seconds, which is, I think, about a little over 5 minutes faster than world record. So GG. Restart lost time. No, I literally did not have time in the day to fix it, I'm afraid. So yeah, that is pretty much everything I have to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And the only thing left really to do, apart from once again thanking my developers, and not very Skyflugel and Renex, this wouldn't have been possible without them. The tool is not ready for release just yet, I'm afraid. There's quite a few issues left to fix, as you actually saw here. And the only thing really left for me to do is shout out the Gm8Emulator Discord server, which we set up recently, and we hope that anyone interested in TASing, watching TASes, maybe making TASes, just anyone interested really, is more than welcome to join. I will post the link without caps lock on, ideally. I posted the link in chat. That's me, Adamcake. Go right ahead and join if you're interested, if you like what you saw. We will post announcements there. We'll let you know when the tool comes out. And yeah, I think that's really it from me.
All right, cool. That was breathtaking, dude.
Thank you.
It was absolutely amazing. I mean, I've always kind of been interested in tasking stuff, but it always looked so difficult to do. This looks infinitely better than anything I've ever seen.
Yes, that was my goal.
Holy shit, dude. Well, if it comes out in the next couple years, you know we're going to see a surge of TASes for the marathon, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I really hope so. That's really what I want to see. It's just more people making TAS content, because it's so rare these days. This is so hard to make, so... Yep, I really hope this gets people interested.
Hell yeah. All right, Joe. Well, we got Jimmy's run coming up here in just a few moments. I'm going to go prep him, and we're going to get rocking and rolling. Thanks again, Adam, and we'll see you soon.